Hi guys. I look once again completely unbearable, but again, I am under the weather, so you guys have absolutely no say in this. Basically, I have been sick for the past week. Thank you. I literally was in Chicago, and I think my fourth episode I already was like, guys, I'm so sick. So, yeah. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about forced labor. Car makers using aluminum made by Uyghur forced labor, NGO investigation finds. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Literally, okay, this is really embarrassing. I was at a MUN. I was at a MUN conference and the topic was Uyghurs, and still, oh, how do I pronounce it? Uyghurs? I never learned. But this caught my attention, obviously, because we've already talked about Uyghurs and forced labor in China. So, if you didn't know, Uyghurs are this minority group in China. And yeah, I actually don't remember what our council was talking about. I think something about education. Wait, no, that was the other topic. Holy cow, I have short-term memory loss. My defense, that was November 2023. I am a new woman now. So, anyway, let's look at the article though. Companies such as Toyota, Volkswagen, because it's German, thank you, Tesla, General Motors, and BYD. Don't know what that, don't know. That company could do more to ensure their strict standards are applied in China, Human Watch says. Human Rights Watch says. Okay. A car manufacturers, Toyota. Okay, yeah. An investigation conducted by Human Rights Watch has alleged that while most automotive companies have strict human rights standards to audit their global supply chains, they may not be applying the same rigorous sourcing rules for their operations inside China. So, yeah. So, the problem underlying this issue is actually that the Uyghurs are this independent, I think, tribal group. They have their own religion, and that leads to religious discrimination because obviously the rest of China as a communist country does not align with those beliefs. So they very naturally became the minority of China. As we've discussed in the last episode, LGBTQ community people are currently facing discrimination from Russian law. And over here, the Uyghurs have been battling this for decades. And, you know, obviously, having cheap labor for China is a huge economic force. It's very affordable, but again, the human rights treatment, it's just not right exploiting these tribal groups that don't align with your religious beliefs. They aren't lesser than you because they are different, you know? A lot of this has to do with differences, and I think just pushing people different from you aside is pretty harmful for both parties because one, you're not learning, you're not broadening your view, and obviously it is harmful for the minorities because they're literally getting degraded to a lesser status. So, problem. And also, their abuse of compulsory prison labor. So, a lot of the Uyghurs are actually sent into concentration camps where they would be re educated and they would basically be forced to work. And so, that's where the forced labor kind of comes from. They are sent to these education camps. And again, we've seen this in history about how people different from us are just deemed as lesser, and there's like this inherent supremacy, this inherent hierarchy that the majority just embody. And so, yeah, it's just not right. It's pretty terrible. And this is not a new concept. Uyghurs are just a tiny problem of this larger branch of forced labor. There's child labor, okay, off the top of my head, I can pretty much only think of the Uyghurs and child labor. But you get the concept. Like, these are people who are unwilling, or maybe not unwilling, but they're pretty much, getting forced into this position. They probably have no other resort in their environment, so they probably could only turn to or depend on these other sources of income. And it's just this cheap labor in Chinese manufacturing companies is so common that it's not even shocking that this news popped up, because companies like Shein exploiting child labor and other online marketing companies, it's so prevalent in our society now. Honestly, for a while I was pretty caught up with Shein, but then I see a lot of backlash that it received online, and it honestly got pretty scary. The children would write "help me" on the tags, and because they need help, they are like getting paid basically nothing to sit there day after day working their butts off. And I would reach out for help too, and I just can't imagine what would happen to them if the government or like the staff found out about what they did. But that's besides the point. All in all, I'm just trying to say that there are people getting treated terribly for capitalism purposes and for our own benefit, because all of this is to drive the economy. Yes, the Uyghurs are getting exploited for more than their labor. Obviously, it has like underlying religious reasons and probably political misalignment, and so their existence as a whole just threatens the Chinese power in general. And yeah, at least that's how they would perceive it. But for the most part, it's the fact that there needs to be such low wages for these workers. It's to drive the economy. If there's more production and more things are getting sold out and the workers are getting paid less, then there's going to be an incline. And I think that's why Shein is so popular. It is so cheap. Everything is literally, I could get a whole $100 worth of things and it would probably come in a large package, because you would just have to order so much to even get to 100. And when you go to Lululemon, for example, a tank top is pretty much, or leggings is 100. So you could just see the difference between high-end luxury clothing staples and Shein. Um, so yeah, I think in today's society, it is so appealing to just get what's most convenient, what's most, and forget about, the ethical undertones the, and consider the work that is put into all this. Because nothing's for free, like you're paying for what you get, and what you get is a poor child sitting by the sewing machine or whatever. I'm not really sure how their factories work, but this poor child just sitting there having to sew up, and they're not even good quality. Like, how could it be? They are so cheap that they're not willing to provide higher wages. How are they going to fund for high quality clothing? You can't, price and then quality. It's not. It's a linear, or what do they call it? A proportional relationship. So, yeah. And I know you guys aren't responsible. Okay, well, you could be responsible if you are perpetuating this cycle, this supply chain, by purchasing from these companies. So the first thing you can do is to buy from more ethical storefronts and look into how they're producing their products. That's the first takeaway of today's video. Thank you. And okay, second, something that is a little bit within closer proximity of our daily lives. If you are witnessing somebody getting taken advantage of, or if you are getting taken advantage of, ma'am, sir, mother, father, okay, because when there is an audience that is being entertained, you will continue to be exploited. And if somebody continues to allow this behavior, it will follow through time. Because look, if people are still buying from Shein and unethical companies, then they will continue to produce and follow in their footsteps, because there are consumers. They're like, okay, people are buying this, we are making a profit, so why would we stop it at any point? You see what I mean? If the manipulators, if the people taking advantage of you, if they know that whatever tactic they're following, if they know that it's working, they're going to continue to use you. So know when to take a stand for yourself, know when to take a stand for other people, know when to encourage this, because a lot of the times it's all about breaking the cycle. And so when you see that somebody is clearly in a loop, in a circle, going nonstop, then it's really important to pull them out of it. And sometimes the first step is the most important of the entire journey. So when you know that somebody else is taking advantage of your excellence, being able to speak up first at the first hand is really important, and to save you from the to save you from basically getting exploited for the rest of the time. So that is our takeaway. Yeah. And also, if you see somebody else getting exploited, they might not even know. I mean, the Uyghurs definitely know they're getting exploited, but some people don't have a choice. For example, the child labor, they need that sort of income, but they also can't really escape to a better environment. So just know and don't judge if someone is not willing to speak up, because they might have other circumstances that are hindering them from breaking free. So just go into this without judgment. It's probably not because they are a wuss. It's definitely not because of that. But fear is a big thing, and you know, things happen. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Oh my gosh, it's been a long day, but I hope you liked it. And have a nice day. Bye.